I'm here with Cholula, and in this video we're going to go over some tips that you can use if you have a dog that's reactive to other dogs. Now, Cholula is selectively reactive. Some dogs she's reactive to, some she's not. Now, I'm going to be breaking a rule. When you're usually with a reactive dog, you don't want to put your hand through this. I'll just give you a quick little leash tip. Usually you want to hold it like this. So I put it around my thumb, and then I grasp it, and then I push it against my sternum. This gives me more control, and if worst case scenario comes, I can let the leash go if I need to instead of getting dragged around. I'm a professional, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my hand through this. I have a clicker as well. We've already loaded the clicker, and we've recruited Bo and Scout over there are gonna help us out. So basically, I'm gonna lay the leash on my hand and then put the clicker on top. So this hand is exclusively for leash handling. This hand, my treat pouch is over here, and I have some really high value treats that I know that she likes to use. So I'm gonna invite you guys, can you come just don't come out of the shade, but just come maybe a step or two closer. We're gonna watch her body language. So her ears are up, her tail, watch this tail is gonna probably come up a little bit as they come closer. Ears flip back a little bit, tail coming up. So we're looking at the dog's body language. Now, this is not to do with the exercise we're doing, but when we're working with dogs, we need to be able to read our dog so we know when our dog is feeling uncomfortable, stressed, anxious. Her body is not wiggly and jiggly. Now, her tail is kind of nice and relaxed, so I like that. And she's disengaging, looking away from the other dogs. Now, we have another dog, poodle, that's coming in that's going to be a little bit more challenging. So when we have the poodle come by, we're just going to walk on this side. You have a poodle come up behind you. So this is basically called the engage-disengage game, and I'm going to do it over here so that we can actually do it with both dogs. Come here, Cholula. Now, I like to put a dog into a sit because it tells me that the dog is comfortable enough to sit down. If I ask the dog to sit and it won't sit, then I move 5 feet away and I try again. Cholula. Now, we have a couple of dogs coming. Well, and she's turning around going the other way. Okay, so now, that's a quick little tip before we get to this. Give the other dog space. If you know your dog might be reactive, step off the trail. Let them pass. A lot of times I'm gonna walk faster first. I'd rather get more practices. All right, so what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna put Cholula here into a sit, and I'm gonna ask if you could you walk just right to that line there and turn around and walk right back where you're at? Now, I'm gonna do the engage-disengage game. So every time she looks at the dogs, I'm clicking and giving a treat. Now you see right here, they're really close. All right, now Cholula, sit. She's easy for me to redirect her away, and which is what we're looking for. So the engage-disengage game is basically at first we're rewarding her for looking at them. I'm clicking the instant she looks at the dogs. Now eventually what we do, and if you could do that 2 more times, that would be awesome. Eventually what will happen is she'll look at the dog and she'll disengage and look away. Now these dogs, the dog's guardian has done a really good job. You can see their body language, they're nice and they're relaxed. If you have a dog that comes by that's barking and whatever, you might need to move 10 feet away. Another dog that's really old and maybe walking very slowly, Cholula, we might be able to come up a little bit closer. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna can you do that one more time? Come here, Cholula. So I'm going to try to position her so she's looking in that general direction. Now she did well there. This is a little bit faster than I'd want you guys to do it, but now I'm going to move her a little bit closer. Cholula, sit. If she won't sit, then that's her way of saying that's too close. And that's okay. We're gonna go at her pace. When you're doing this exercise, the most important thing is that she does not react. When she reacts, she's essentially practicing being reactive, which is what we don't want. Now, she has no problems with humans, so we're just gonna work with dogs. So we're gonna do that again. So I'm gonna have a whole bunch of treats in my hand, because now we're a little bit closer, and she's more interested in me than the treats. There we go. Now, sometimes they'll do a fake look, and eventually I might want the look to be a little bit more extended. But basically, this is just a really simple way for her to look at them and have something positive happen. Gradually, as we do this, after maybe a couple passes, and then we take 1 or 2 steps closer, and then maybe the next practice session, we do another step closer. When you get to the point where she won't sit down, or she won't take a treat, that she's getting close to her breaking point. If that's the case, we move a couple steps away, we have a practice of a repetition that's good. We always want our last rep to be a good repetition because that's the brightest memory that they're gonna have. I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate it. Now we're gonna keep filming. I'm gonna go over a couple other tips for you. Now she's sniffing. Now, we can do other things after this, like I can invite her over here. I'm trying to see if she want to sniff the ground. So if they were sitting, taking her to wherever they were can give her the ability to do a little sniffing and sample the dogs. There we go, she got a little extra sniff there. Now sometimes she's really more interested in my treats at this point, which is fine, but we'd like to get her to the point where she's going and sniffing that other dog. She's having some interactions with the dog without actually having to play or the pressure of the dog being so close. Now, when dogs bark and lunge and react, they're trying to get the other dog to move away. So if you get stuck, you can move your dog away yourself. Hey, find it. Find it. And this is a nice way, if a dog's walking this way, I've now turned her and I can walk her away. I often call this a find it away. Now there's another orientation game that we can do that's just kind of a version of a check-in with me game. So I'm gonna give her a little bit more leash and she's looking, sniffing. I'm waiting, I always try to let the dog sniff. If it's sniffing, I'm not gonna interrupt. I'm gonna wait for the dog to finish. Now I've got a treat. What I'm gonna do, sit. So I'm gonna wait for her to look away. When she looks at my face, I'm gonna throw a treat over there, behind her. Yes? Yes. So what I'm doing is when she checks in with me, I give her a reward, but she doesn't have to come to me. I'm gonna throw the treat behind her or somewhere else and she's gotta go look for it. And now she's looking for other adventures, which is, again, a great way to drain energy, but also she's not paying attention to the dogs that are coming by. So yeah, I was just motioning. I was not throwing a treat. Yes. Oh, missed that one. Yes. So it's just giving her eye contact. Now this is I think about a 6-foot leash. Sometimes for this sort of game, I might have an 8-foot leash, so I have a little bit more leeway. Yeah. But this is a nice game. So when she looks at you, you say yes, and then you throw the treat away. And she has to go get it, so she doesn't have to come to you. It doesn't represent the end of fun. All right, Cholula. If you have a really high energy dog, exercising them a little bit before you do this exercise can be helpful. Just give them about 10, 15 minutes of rest at home before you drive to the park. Driving time is an excited time as well. And try it out different lengths. You might find that 12 fetches is what she needs, or a 15-minute walk or whatever it is. We just wanted to find the Goldilocks amount where we take that top level of energy off so that she can perform better. And at first she might be 15 feet away. Eventually, sit. You're right here, dogs are walking by, she's looking at them and looking at you. And you're giving that treat. Let's see if we got a, nope, it's just a jogger. All right, well, this is my buddy Cholula. Let's get you in a nice position. Yes, and look at that happy smile she has. This is Cholula, and these are some tips and tricks you can use if you have a dog that's reactive to other dogs on walks.